action presented today by McQuaid Heating and Cooling. And our pregame show sponsored by Crest Lincoln here from the United Shore Media Desk. Everyone, welcome as we prepare for the Westside Woolly Mammoths and the Utica Unicorns to do battle again here today. And this is an important matchup certainly for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. And you look to next week, 4 games for the Mammoths, so they can, try to float up the standings a little bit as well and get back into form.
They've been coming on pretty strong over the last week or so. Their last game out, not so much, but they're a team that's improving, both in the lineup, and I think they're starting to have an idea of what they want to do with the pitching as well. So you're right, it is a big game. They're facing the team that's in first place, and I think for the Unicorns, they've started to create a little bit of separation. So if they drop this one today, it's going to get a little bit uncomfortable for them too, I think.
A tale of 2 games, it often is in the double headers. You had a game last night with the Beavers and the Hoppers. The Beavers, your prototypical sweep the double header type of team so far this year. Were not able to do that last night. It was a slim 10-9 victory in the end in a game that looked like they might run away with it, 10-3, and then the huge inning by the Diamond Hoppers to put them maybe in position to take a lead down the stretch. Didn't happen, but the big story, all the walks in that game. Yeah,
it was a little bit of an ugly game, I guess, to a certain degree. Although there was, some good at bats too. Major takeaway was the way that the Hoppers, it didn't end up producing a win, but the Hoppers ended up really bouncing back well, and you got to give them a lot of credit for that. They gave up a 6th spot in the top half of the 4th inning, and then erased the whole thing in the bottom half. That's something that we haven't really seen yet this year. On the downside with the Beavers, it looks like Austin Dakar is having some trouble out of the bullpen, having trouble throwing strikes. And on the Hopper side, it was Zane Collins with 6 walks, and he's a guy who I think really relies on having his control. That's very important to him, having success. So that was a little bit troubling in game 1. We'll see where he goes going forward. I'm sure there's some things he needs to work out with his mechanics, and I'm sure the pitching guys here in this league are going to get all over that.
Kind of fast forwarding to the bottom of the 7th inning, tie ball game at that point. A Texas versus Texas prospect matchup with Hoover coming up with runners on first and second. He was able to tag Josh Smith for a single, went off the glove of Jalen Smith into short right field. Maybe the right fielder would have had a chance to throw him out, but regardless, a good hit by Jake Hoover.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Jalen Smith with a good effort there. It's just one of those bad luck things where he just wasn't quite able to rein it in. But yeah, that was a cool matchup. Josh Smith making his first appearance. He looked good. It looks like he's got good stuff. He ended up getting tagged with the loss, but facing Hoover, a couple guys that played for Spokane together on the same team, coming all the way to Utica here to face each other, kind of a neat thing to see. And I'm sure they had a laugh about it after. But it was a fun matchup, and the Hoppers able to come back and get your typical pro baseball split of the doubleheader, which is incredibly common.
Well, the headline here today, when you look at the starting lineups, is the Unicorns have added more bats, and you're like, oh boy, if you're the Mammoths on the other side, because they had that huge first inning where they exploded last game. Frankie Luska kind of the catalyst to that. He will play left field here today because of a brand new catcher we see, and 2 more bats added to Jim Essian's lineup. That's pretty dangerous overall, right?
That offensive explosion may have been a little bit of an anomaly, for the Unicorns. We haven't seen a whole lot of that this year. They've really been a pitching-heavy team that has won a lot of 1-0, 2-1 type ball games. They needed to add some bats, so I think that's going to be an interesting watch going forward. These 2 guys, I'm sure, will upgrade their offense, I would think, and we'll see how that plays out, if it takes a little while for those guys to get acclimated here or if it pays off right away. But if the Unicorns are able to upgrade their offense to being even just average, then I'm not sure anybody can catch them, because their pitching is really a cut above, both as it comes to starters and definitely as it comes to bullpen.
Time to look at your starting lineups here today, presented as always by AAA of Michigan First for the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's Garrett Kieber leading it off at the shortstop position here today. Will Johnson batting second. Lamar Briggs, Scott Capers, Alec Olin in the heart of Paul Nickenbrugge's lineup here today. Ross Haffey, the hot Ross Haffey. There's no stopping him. There's been major power shown off his bat as well. When we thought the Mammoths might be shut out the other night in a big way, he hit a big 2-run bomb to the right field over the stage. So We'll see what Haffey has to bring here today at first base. Once again, it's Landon Barnes, Isaiah Cullum, and Andrew McCoy. Late substitution into the bottom of the lineup here today for the Mammoths. They'll face Miguel Ciarino. More about him and Ben McKendall in our pitcher comparison a little bit later. As for the home Utica Unicorns, Frankie Luska back at the top, and in left field, as we mentioned before, Dominic Bethencourt batting second and playing third base. It's Curry, Nick Snyder, and Jordan Hovey hitting in the heart of Jim Essian's lineup here today. Ashton Bardzell is trying to pick it up. He's up to the 6th hole and playing right field. Seth Strong, Colton Horner, 2 of your newcomers hit back-to-back in the lineup here today, and John Hodo providing some nice speed at the bottom of the lineup once again. We'll see if he can turn it back to Frankie Luska a couple times again here today. Before we get to Dan's keys to the game, something that we saw last night and something that we're continued probably to see a little bit more, there's moves made for competitiveness and trying to win ball games. We saw the whole infield come together last night for the Hoppers, and you know, some of the bullpen moves might be a little bit more tactical going forward.
That's nice to see. It's more like traditional professional baseball. You know, we've got a little bit of a unique setup here. On the plus side, it was like our own little pod to get this league going, which was terrific. It also allowed us to start this interesting 2020 season with less bodies, and the teams were able to share some players and things like that. But I think it produced some things that were unusual. You know, these guys weren't especially competitive with each other because one day you're on my team, the next day you're against me. You know, how much am I really going to compete with you in that type of a scenario? But now we've got set rosters. These guys are going to be looking at where everybody is in the standings. They're going to be looking for a competitive advantage against each other. They're going to be out there to beat each other. So we're going to see better baseball, I think. We're going to see managers make the type of moves to eke out an extra run here and there or save a run here and there, when to bring the infield in, when to bunt, when to hit and run, that type of thing. And a lot of that was hands-off originally. You know, we didn't really see any guys sacrificing themselves with a bunt. It was, you know, just show your skills and steal a base whenever you feel like it. And as a result, I think we saw some sloppy base running maybe at times, and I think we're probably going to see less of that going forward and more traditional good baseball.
Now time for your keys to the game. What do you have today?
Well, I think the key to the game is certainly the 2 new bats for the Unicorns. You've got Seth Strong, who's going to be playing first base. You've got Colton Horner, who's going to be catching. We don't know a lot about them yet. We know that they have some experience, some professional baseball type experience, so I'm sure they're going to be quality hitters for this lineup. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on how that affects the existing Unicorns. So with Horner being a catcher, will Frankie Luska move away from that position? Will he still dabble in that position a little bit? He can certainly play first base and left field, and I know they want his bat in there. With Strong, being the first baseman, where does that leave Nick Snyder? I don't know that he plays a lot of other positions besides first base. He can certainly DH. You know, will those 2 guys trade on and off with first base DH? You know, we'll keep an eye on that, but Snyder's definitely a bat that they need in this lineup. He's a key power bat for them going forward. So if these can be upgrades to the Unicorns lineup, look out. You know, they're going to be a real force to contend with here going forward.
Well, next on our Crest Lincoln pregame show, we'll take a look at your pitching comparison here today. One of the best going again for the Mammoths. Ben McKendall trying to shut down this hot Unicorns lineup when we get back here on the USPBL Network. Stick with us.
Order Jimmy John's and we'll bring it to your car door. Leave it at your front door or have it ready for you at our drive-thru. Just use jimmyjohns.com or our app to tell us what sandwiches, drinks, chips, and cookies you're hungry for. When you want it and how you want it. We're ready.
Crack open a Budweiser and experience the refreshing taste of summer. Make every moment of summer count by picking up Budweiser today.
year, Belfour did 114,000 different jobs around the world. We've been to floods, fires, tornado sites, earthquakes, where people have lost everything. Yes, your homes can be rebuilt, and yes, your businesses will be rebuilt, but most importantly, your lives will be rebuilt. There's nothing that we cannot fix, and we believe that.
It's our pictures.
To me, that's Belfour. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
United Shore Professional Baseball League action presented today by McQuaid Heating and Cooling and brought to you by the following: AAA, Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, the Detroit Medical Center, DTE Energy, Denim Sports, Dunkin' Donuts, Green for Life Environmental, Green Path Financial Wellness, Jimmy John's, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Summit Oral, and United Shore. We thank all those fine partners for their sponsorship of this fine league. Take a peek at your pitcher comparison brought to you by Denzo here today. There is Miguel Cirino, the starter for the Unicorns. Ben McKendall going on the other end. Den.
Well, this guy here's got a fine fastball. I know his stats don't look pretty quite yet, but the key for him is getting his off-speed stuff over the plate. He's got a changeup and a slider with really good action, but has had a little bit of trouble controlling it to this point. So we'll know early on what type of day he may have. The fastball's going to be there, I'm sure. Ben McKendall, pretty steady. Has been a little bit of a hard luck loser at times for the Mammoths, but he's going to keep his team in the ballgame.
Cirino has kind of always been under development, at least the last 2 years. Very raw coming out of junior college. Talking to his latest skipper at Ottawa University before coming here, Tim Montez, who's been around baseball for a long time at the Division I level. Ottawa University is a brand new NAI school, so he's developing that into quite the power in just the few years he's been there. But he said he would pitch best when he was at around 90%, which for guys with plus fastballs, we've talked about it before, you know, with Ty Hensley, he can ramp it up at any time. And if Cirino can learn that, that might just be his key to success going forward.
Makes sense. Oh, that wasn't what we wanted, was it?
First pitch at 1:04 p.m. drills Garrett Kieber. That was a little bit of an issue for Cirino his last couple of years in college. Look at the defense, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. Leska, Curry, Bardzell in the outfield. Bethencourt and Strong on the corners. Hodo and Hovey up the middle with Horner, your new catcher, behind the dish here today.
You'll see a little swing back action there on his fastball too. You could see it on that pitch. It's a good quality pitch for him.
Which can lead ultimately sometimes to guys hitting batters.
It can. When you try to throw that in on a righty, if it gets away from you at all, you could definitely hit guys. I really like that pitch against a lefty when you start it in, because it looks like it's on their hands, then all of a sudden it swings back over the plate. That's a really hard pitch to handle.
27 hit batters in his last 2 years in college. 2018, he hit 18. 2019, 9. So certainly improved in a short time. 3-0 on Will Johnson. He's yet to throw a strike.
That one was his changeup, it looked like, which is a good idea to try to establish that early.
Colton Horner, one of two guys off the Pecos League, another independent. In terms of competition, one of the probably lower end leagues, but we've seen some good players come through here from there. Here's the 3-0. High and away.
Well, it's a rough start for him. Hopefully he can settle in from here. Had a feeling that the overall command was going to be important to him today. He's got good enough stuff.
Be interesting to see what they do with this defense going forward in favor of the Unicorns. They were trying out Frankie Lusk at that catching position, trying to get him better there. He was a guy that came in about a month and a half into the year, so you'd think he might be in line to return. So in terms of, competitiveness going forward, probably your best bet is to have him in the outfield. Development will say catcher, because I don't believe really he can be an outfielder at the next level. I don't think that's partly why,
right?
At least full time. I mean, he's played first base, he's played outfield, he's played third base early on in college. So he can become a utility type, but you want at least one solid position that you're comfortable with him playing every day if he has to. The bat's going to be attractive, no question.
If they can find a way to keep moving him around, I think that might be a good compromise for him. The catching makes a lot of sense on the surface. Whether or not he can be proficient enough there, it still remains to be seen.
Here's the 1-1. Flopped over the head of Seth Strong at first base. Keeper being waved around. He will score. And the Mammoths strike first here in the first. This is already a bullpen for the Unicorns that's been used quite a bit. They had the bullpen day. It was Wednesday, right?
Right.
Available Goodson, Dawson, Shanahan, Comitas, Ellis, all those guys have pitched this week already. Dawson's a starter, though, so he only threw 1 inning, so I'm sure he could go 2-3. Swing and a miss by Scott Capers. See,
Comitas could definitely go.
Sure. Yeah, he only pitched an inning as well.
Right.
See, Reno's last outing was in that bullpen game on Wednesday. Here's the 0-1. Outside at 93, so the velocity is not a problem. That's kind of where his fastball is topped out at this year.
When he misses with the fastball, it tends to be glove side. It looks like he really pulls his head a little bit and pulls his glove also a little bit in that direction at times when he misses.
Runner in motion to second base. He'll throw, and that's into center field. And it'll score another run. Will Johnson coming around.
It's always an advantageous time to try to steal a bag when you're in a first-third situation. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and occasionally the catcher won't even throw down there, depending on what kind of a jump you get. But Mammoth's jumping on him early.
It's a very bright day. Even the paint on the field is kind of reflecting. They do paint the lines here at Jimmy John's Field. Chalk seems to be less and less of a thing in general. Line drive to center.
The bat didn't sound good, but...
Did not, but he got his knock. Hit by pitch, walk, single against Miguel Cirino, and he's yet to record an out. 72 degrees here at game time. Big billowy clouds over Jimmy John's Field here today. Just another beautiful day for baseball. It'll warm up at the beginning of next week a little bit. 82 degrees and 84 on Wednesday and Thursday. Kind of calm its way back down. Labor Day looks like a nice 174 degrees on September 7th. We will play on Labor Day here in the USPBL. So it's a Wednesday through Monday week for us. Slider inside at 75. 1-1 here on Alec Oland. 147 average coming into play here today. Has walked 12 times compared to 19 strikeouts. Talked about it before, but kind of hitting at the bottom of the order seems to have settled him down a little bit. Probably won't be the easiest of days for Horner, given that he hasn't really caught anybody in the USPBL so far. And it was a surprise to see these two new guys in the lineup.
Yes.
So not sure how long he could have literally just got here yesterday for all we know.
Right.
This one in for strike 2 on Alec Oland. First person to guess the player of the game will win a free oil change courtesy of Kozak's Mr. Muffler. Post your player selection here in the comments section of the broadcast before the end of the second inning. Limit 1 guess per fan. Two and two on Oland. First time that Sereno has gotten a batter to 2 strikes. Had the 4-pitch walk to Will Johnson to begin things here. Popped it up, foul. Seth Strong, your other new addition here today, going for that one. Look at some of the fans, socially distanced in the stands here in 2020. Looks like there's a whole Hodo family reunion on the chat right now on YouTube.
We've seen that before, I think.
Here's the 2-2.
That's a good
nice pitch.
Yep. He needs more of those. He's got to locate that secondary stuff to have any success at this level.
Slider has kind of been a pitch in development as well for Miguel Sereno. Change-up, also one of the newer pitches to his arsenal as well. 2-seam, 4-seam change slider for Miguel Sereno. Ross Haffey, the ever dangerous, dribbles this one foul.
A little bit out in front of that, really. He seemed to take a little bit off that fastball. I'm not sure that it was a changeup. It looked a little quicker than a changeup, but it wasn't like his typical fastball either. Haffey was a little bit out front.
Runner moving to second base again. They're going to send the runner home. He is safe at second base. Scott Caper is able to get around the tag.
Well, the throw certainly beat him that time. Not sure what happened around the backside of the base there with the tag, but Mammoths decided to go for it and stole himself another run.
So 3-0 in favor of this Westside team. They want to score all their runs they can after that game the other day. Weren't able to collect any until the 7th when Haffey hit a 2-run bomb. Can he do it again here? Here's the 0-2. Just missed a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Power fastball against power fastball here.
It's really forcing the issue to double steal when Haffey's at the plate, because you figure you don't want to run into an out there. You've got one of your best RBI guys up, but they got away with it, and it worked.
Way outside, out of the reach of Horner, and Capers going to find his way home. 22 pitches. Really the only balls in the strike zone today, for the most part, besides the strikeout to Alec Oland, have been put in play. Larry Kubiak says he's taking Dan's advice and waiting an inning on a prediction. Score prediction, that is.
Good man, Larry.
Swing and a miss. Another nice slider there. Back-to-back strikeouts as Haffey and Oland go down. Haffey frustrated.
If that was a slider, that's different than what he's typically been throwing. It's a little bit quicker, and maybe he got a little bit of cutting action on a fastball there, perhaps. It's a little bit different than his usual approach. Heffy had an awkward swing at it.
Eric has it down as a changeup. I could go for that. 85 miles an hour, spin of 2.245.
Yeah, it was quicker than a changeup though too. You know, either way, it wasn't his typical look. I don't think.
Changeup has averaged 81 and topped out at 84, so that would be a little faster than what we've seen, but it's still a fairly small sample size to this point. Actually, no, that's McKendall. 84 to 86 is where Sereno's
so maybe it is more typical for him than I thought. It's, you know, just in general terms, kind of a quick changeup.
Some swing back on that fastball, and 92 for strike one. And if he finds a way to control it, this is going to be a really good arm.
Yeah, he's got a lot to work with there. Good movement on his ball, good arm. You can see why they're excited about him.
There's a guy who was listed in the top 40 for draft prospects in Arizona, the state of Arizona, by Baseball Prospectus, 36th on that list. And talking to his college skipper a little bit about that, I mean, you see the ERA from junior year to senior year hike from 3.83 to 6.70, and, you know, he thought the pressure just kind of got to him. 0-2 floats to center. Curry calls for it and able to collect out number 3.
Left a slider up there but got away with it.
The first 4 reach, the first 3 score. He retires the last 3 he faces. Put that puzzle together.
When you are in need of air conditioning services, turn to the experienced professionals at McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration. Since 1970, we've been delivering high-quality air conditioning installation and repair services. Call for a free estimate today. Let us help you be cool and comfortable. For comprehensive HVAC services, contact McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration today.
It's the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event going on now at Crest Lincoln. Schedule your remote experience today or visit us here and learn what it means to have vehicle ownership on your terms.
Find some peace this summer in the luxury of the 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. Lease today for only $359 per month. Or drive in comfort and style in the 2020 Lincoln Continental. Lease today for only $361 per month.
Make a summer memory today. Visit us at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights or shop now at crestlincoln.com.
Well, Vivio's Bloody Mary mix voted the best Bloody Mary year after year. Visit us in Detroit's historic Eastern Market. Good stuff. Not a bad thing to maybe sip on a Sunday, sitting on the porch.
Definitely.
Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. And we get a look at Ben McKendall here today, 3.70. 3 ERA, 13 walks to 35 strikeouts so far this season. And you look at the numbers, Dan, 14% swing and miss percentage overall on his pitches, and you break them down individually. There's some really good stuff there in terms of the changeup, the slider, the four-seam fastball, even the two-seams at 18%. Also throws strikes at a rate that matches the likes of Ty Hensley and Garrett Chrisman. It's a little quizzical why he hasn't, you know, put it fully together just from a sheer numbers standpoint. It looks like he's been doing very well.
I would agree with that. He's got a very strong changeup. It's got a nice downward action to it. He commands it well. It is a little bit strange. It's hard to figure out, especially when you look at the stat sheet. You don't really see anything glaring there. You know, just looking at in smaller bites at his last outing, it was largely Ross Haffey that hurt him, and now Haffey's on his team. So
right, there you go. That's one way to solve it.
So that's an upgrade right there. That could help today. But he's handed a nice 3-run lead, and go out there and see what he can do with it.
Talked to Justin Orndorff a little bit before the game about Ben McKendall, and he thinks he's maybe letting confidence get in the way a little bit in terms of maybe lack of confidence, just putting a little bit more pressure on himself than he really should. This is a guy that can pitch. We know that.
Yeah, as a manager, I would take my chances with him, really any day of the week. I think he's going to keep you in the ball game.
Here's the 0-2. Outside. Frankie Leska, the catalyst to this offense a couple nights ago. Hit at the top. 3 singles, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, a walk, also reached on an error, and he does exactly that here in the first. So the raw power really hasn't shown up since the first game. He's got a couple doubles and a home run, but that'll come, I'm sure. Just got to put the ball in play and get yourself rolling, and he's already got that average near 270, and at the beginning of last week, it was around 220.
He may have changed his approach a little bit since becoming the leadoff guy. He might be trying to see a few more pitches. He might be trying to make better contact overall, shorten up his swing a little bit. If he's going to play first base, and he wants to advance and have a long career, he's going to have to hit the ball over the fence a little bit more, though. That's just the reality of being a first baseman. And I would say the same is true of being a left fielder most of the time.
And you talk about guys, maybe settling into a role when they've been hitting, say in the meat of the order, or the 2-hole, 3, 4, anywhere from 2 to 4. And sometimes you see managers move them down, and that, kind of triggers something. And then maybe they're hitting fine and used to that role, and they move them back up because they think they're one of their better hitters. In this case, it's you move them all the way up to the top, which always isn't the case when you see guys struggling.
Managers have all sorts of ideas on how they can kickstart guys, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and that's one of those things that it's really hard to judge a manager on, some of those between the ears type things. Not X's and O's as much.
2-1 on Dominic Bethancourt. McKendall has a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball, a changeup, a slider, and a cutter. 34 innings worked so far this year. Plan is to go around 3 here today, and we'll see Jared Wright maybe piece together a couple more innings. Wright, one of the normal starters for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, but has not been scheduled for this week. I would imagine he'd get one next week with the 4 games that the Mammoths have spread over Wednesday through Sunday.
I would imagine so.
Line drive just over the outstretched glove of Kieber. 2 up and 2 on against Ben McKendall.
Not a bad pitch. Looks like a slider, a little bit down in the zone, and may have been sitting off speed in that situation.
Coley Curry, Nick Snyder, and Jordan Hovey hitting in the middle of the lineup here today for Jim Essian's squad. This is another bat in Coley Curry that's trying to put it together towards the stretch run. Center fielder once again. Fastball high at 88. We've seen it as high as 90 on the year with the 4-seam. 4-seam, the highest volume pitch for Ben McKendall at 38%. The changeup at 24%, the slider at 20%, and then the 2-seam at 14%. One and one on Coley Curry.
It shows how a average velocity fastball can still play up. He located that well on the inside part of the plate. He's got off-speed pitches that need to be respected, and that's enough to throw it by a good hitter.
And it's very hard to guess when you have 5-6 pitches to worry about as a batter.
Definitely.
Even count is outside.
We saw in the case of someone like Austin Dakar where having all those pitches isn't going to do you any good unless you can throw them for strikes, because then the hitters only start to think about the one that you can command, and they forget about the rest of them, and they start sitting on that one that you can throw for strikes.
Can be a cruel game in that way. Remind you can chime in with us on Facebook and YouTube. Some of you weighing in on your player of the game predictions here today. Waiting on the 2-2 pitch to Coley Curry. Here it comes. Popped it foul at 89. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring you the call here today. Christian Gibbons, your director. Jeremiah Hergott, our graphics operator and producer. Everybody else working hard to make this production the best it can be.
Gotta love a Sunday at the ballpark.
Just feels right, doesn't it?
It does. It's always been my favorite, the Sunday afternoon game. Sunday Fun Day. I've been liking it a lot longer than they've been calling it Sunday Fun Day. Everybody else is catching up with me though. Sundays are becoming across Major League Baseball as well. They're saying Sundays are starting to, at least last year anyway, when there was fans, those were starting to pull ahead.
He'll try the 2-2 again. I don't know, put it in play this time. Camping under that lazy fly ball is Johnson for out number 1. Defense behind McKendall here today. It's Johnson, Oland, and McCoy left to right in the outfield. Briggs and Haffey on the corners. Barnes and Kieber up the middle, and Cullum settles behind the dish here today. I'm liking the way this defense is kind of shaping out.
Definitely. A lot of plus defenders and a lot of good wheels out there.
And that's something for a guy like Ben McKendall. He throws nearly 64% strikes. He can rely on his defense to get those lazy fly balls like you saw, the ground balls. Ground ball percentage pretty low, just 22% for Ben, but for a guy that strikes out 35.
It's our first time seeing Isaiah Cullum catch in a bit. We've saw him DH the last couple times out.
Briggs stops it, stays with it for out number 2. That's probably the only play he had regardless.
Definitely.
So both runners advance. Leska to third and Bethencourt to second. And now Jordan Hovey will try to get his second and third RBI as a pro. That guy's playing a good brand of first base. And we were almost surprised to see him start to play third a lot and then shifting to first off the taxi squad. But he has done a really nice job anywhere he's played.
Yeah, I think he could have played third if needed. Just the way that it worked out with the personnel, he didn't really need to play there anymore.
Yeah, Briggs, one of the newer additions to this team, has shown that he's going to be one of the better third basemen in the league. Good ability to run and get the ball, dive and get the ball like you saw there. Great arm. And now certainly with Troyer coming back, not that Haffey's going to be on the taxi squad anymore, but it makes sense that he is on this Mammoths team for a lot of reasons. And now you look at the depth for the Utica Unicorns defensively. I mean, you got two guys in Seth Strong and Cortland Horner who have really only played first base and catcher, at least in the independent ranks. So it's going to be interesting for Jim Essian to navigate through that. Nice pitch by Ben McKendall on the black as he sees the first two reach via the single, but able to coax them right where they are. Line out, ground out, strike out. Time for Freaky Fast Trivia here today.
Disney again.
Yes, Disney on a Sunday.
It is an older Disney movie, though. So 2 of the choices are 7. That leads me to believe that one of them could be the right answer.
Wow. So is it going to be the 7 and the C or the B?
I don't know if it does it matter which of the 7s I choose.
It might, yes.
I'm a little concerned.
The font's slightly different. No, I'm making that up.
I'm going to go with, I'm pretty sure it's 7. I remember that movie fairly well. I know the older Disney movie's a little bit better. I'm going to go with 7, and I'm just going to say 7. I'm not going to name a letter.
Got it.
Okay, perfect. So it looked like on the in-stadium board as well, there was 2 7s as choices. So not sure.
And whoever the contestant was got it here too.
Okay.
So there you go.
So I guess that may have tipped off both of us, but I did feel good about that one.
You can head to the Great Lakes Bat Company website and pick up your Randy Dobnak merchandise. Talked about Randy's start yesterday. Had a little bit of a rough one, his first of the year for the Minnesota Twins. There's a look at some of the offerings that they had there for you, the stash and the glasses.
Haven't seen any shirts quite like that.
There were more fans in the building. It'd be fun to see how many would rock those.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there would be a good amount.
Definitely.
Haven't quite seen any yet. I know Alan Oakes, one of the pitching coordinators here at the USPBL, has been rocking one lately.
Okay.
On the ground third base side, that one's foul.
Of course, if we, if we had our usual ticket sales happening here, we would have had Randy Dobnak bobblehead night.
Sure.
By now.
Are they going to save that for next year? Or?
Yes, I believe so. Unless something drastically changes for this year, we're not expecting that at this point.
It's a pretty good looking one.
It is. It's one of the better bobbleheads I've seen, really.
It's funny to see some of the bobbleheads and how they do or don't represent the actual person.
Well, you have to keep in mind when I was an intern in baseball, that was, geez, how many years ago was that now? Was it 17
30?
years? No, it's about 17 years ago. But thank you for the cheap shot. But they basically had, it almost felt like they had one bobblehead, and they just sometimes altered the skin.
the name on it?
Yeah, the skin color and the name on the back a little bit, and it was basically the same guy all the time. They've come a long way.
You have a favorite bobblehead you've seen so far?
That's a good question. I'll give that some thought.
Some of the 68 ones for the Tigers were pretty cool when they celebrated the 50th anniversary.
That was a good set. There was 5 total, I think. 4 of them were giveaways, and then there was a 5th one just for season ticket holders.
Yeah, they had a freehand, at catcher, and then a Lolich, and if you put them next to each other, they look like they're thrown to each other, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Maybe comment on the Facebook and YouTube chat if you have a favorite bobblehead. Here's the 2-0 on McCoy. Liner that's sinking to right center field. Good route there by Ashton Bardzell, and that's 2 up and 2 down for Miguel C. Reno.
Well, of course, while we're on the topic of favorite ones, of course, I would have to say the Andy Appleby bobblehead.
There you go.
It's the sort of, it's easy to, as Gibby in my ear, I believe, said suck up, but it's easy to assume that. But I'm impressed mostly because I don't recall any other team owners having bobbleheads. That's a unique one.
Well, you got the JJ one right in front of you there, too.
Yeah, JJ's a terrific
That's
one.
A cool
He's
one.
got the bat that you can move in and out of his mouth, potentially. Sponsored by Michigan First Credit Union.
0-1 on Garrett Kieber. Was hit by a pitch back in the first inning.
If only JJ knew how cool it was to have a bobblehead.
That's true. He has no idea.
I have seen JJ play with his plush toy before.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he nice with it, or is it more...
Yeah, he carries it around. Yeah, he's relatively nice with it.
Okay, so it's not one of those...
He will jump for it if you hold it up in the air.
Okay. This one popped up down the line and foul.
Seeing JJ jump, as long as he's not real dirty, it's kind of fun to watch him jump. He's pretty good with his ups.
Did you get your shorts all in line with the OxyClean or what?
I think we're going to test that later tonight. I don't really get at the laundry type stuff until the series is over.
Okay. You're risking it not
I know.
Coming out.
You know, there's only so many hours in the day.
I'm with you. I had to do some scrambling yesterday. I was out of nearly everything.
Yesterday was a pretty long day, if you recall correctly.
It was. Actually, so it wasn't yesterday. It was Friday. They all run together.
Yes.
Here's the 1-2. Left the slider up. Good inning so far by Sereno. He saw the 3 leadoff men score. The first 4 in the lineup all reach base, but then he got a strikeout to Olin, a strikeout to Haffey, and a flyout to Landon Barnes. And that's kind of been the Achilles heel for 17 so far this year. You look at his first start, he had a great first inning, 1, 2, 3, and they're thinking, yeah, this is the pitcher that we were hearing about and expected to see. But then the huge second inning, which caused him to be relieved by Damon Ellis in the end, in that second, 13 men came to the plate between those two pitchers.
Yeah, there's a definite lack of consistency there. He needs to be able to repeat his mechanics.
On the corner for
That's
strike
nasty.
3. How about it? 6 straight retired going back to the first inning. Sereno settling in quite nicely here.
DTE Energy customers can get their share of huge lifetime energy cost savings. How? By using our website. The Oslin's new programmable thermostat saved them a bundle. And their new efficient furnace earned them a hefty rebate. All over Michigan, people like the Oslins are saving. Why not you? There are always new ways to save at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE Energy.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Ben McKendall working his second inning here today. Good finish for Ben. Pair of singles by Luska and Bethencourt to start it. They ended up getting to second and third with 2 outs, but a line out, a ground out, and a strikeout looking ended the threat to Jordan Hovey.
Both starters today started out a little bit shaky, but settled in. And McKendall doing so a little bit quicker than Sereno did.
It appears maybe Miguel Sereno is done. Damon Ellis is now warming up for the Utica Unicorns. If he is done, it was a great finish for him too. 4 strikeouts in total, and he retired the last 6 that he faced.
Yeah, that could go either way. They may send him back out there now that he had a strong second inning. I'm sure after the first inning they were a little concerned.
First pitch to Barnzell in for strike 1. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Unicorns here, brought to you by Zach Hart Agency. It's Ashton, Seth Strong, and Colton Horner. You're going to look at both of the new bats here in the second frame. 3 runs off 2 hits and no errors so far for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. No runs off 2 hits and no errors on the other side in the early goings of this one. Liner to center, Oland for the first out. Oland's rocking the shades out in center field here today. Now it's Seth Strong's turn. Strong, couple years in the Pecos League offensively for Strong. Ha ha ha. 309 in the average column, 442 in the on base. Some extra base pop, 8 home runs. Another left-handed bat for Jim Essian's squad. McKendall working quick here. He wants to get on top of these batters in the second. Talking to Shane McCaddy in the past, the other pitching coordinator here in the USPBL with Alan Oakes. The big thing for McKendall is establishing that rhythm and establishing it quick. Because you look at a guy like Ben, Garrett Chrisman, A.J. Coleman, they have their most success when they feel like they're just rolling through the order.
Sure.
And that can make hitters very uncomfortable throughout a game as well. Swing and a miss and an 88-mile-per-hour heater there.
He's been moving his fastball all around in this at-bat. In, out, up, down.
Two away at 89.
Tried to climb the ladder there and get him to chase higher.
Waiting in the full count delivery. Here it comes. Popped him up. Cullum discards the mask. And squeezes out number 2. Now that's quietly 5 straight outs recorded by Ben McKendall here.
Next up for the Unicorns, the catcher,
Colton Horner also coming to us from the Pecos League. Just 1 year there. It was this year, 340 average.
Rocks a pretty good mustache.
He does. More walks than strikeouts. 24 walks to 16 Ks. Center fielder Olin plays him in without any data. Here's the 0-1. Good rip at an 88-mile-per-hour fastball, but just missed. Here's a 0-2. Just whittled foul. Talked to Ben McKendall slightly before the game here today, and he said today's weather is great. Plans to take full advantage of that, given that his last start was 90 degrees. It is a perfect day here at Jimmy John's Field. Briggs can't handle that one along the line. It is a fair ball, and Colton Horner is on in his first AB here in the USPBL.
I think that's a hit, personally. We'll see how they roll that.
Looks like they've already gone up with it. Third of the game for the Utica Unicorns. He joins Bethencourt and Leska as collecting singles here in the early goings of this one. John Hodo. Looks at a ball outside. He's been, like you said, kind of moving up and down the corners here in the second inning. Everybody pretty relaxed on the infield with 2 outs. Here's the 1-0. Big rip.
It's a good change there.
Hodo on Friday got on base twice and scored twice. Had a double to begin the 5th. Also had a walk in the monster inning the Unicorns had against this very Mammoth squad. We're going to see this matchup again on Wednesday, so these teams are good to get to know each other pretty well as we head towards the playoff stretch here. Easy one for Landon Barnes. 3-0 still.
Hi, I'm Allison with the Sports Performance Tip of the Game, brought to you by DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With so many options to choose from for a drink after a strenuous workout, which would you choose from? A, chocolate milk, B, a sports drink, or C, a soda? Well, if you said chocolate milk, you are correct. Chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates and proteins and is a great option to replenish the fuel needed after a very hard workout or competition. It has double the value of a lot of the normal water or sports drinks and is a great option. Within 15 to 20 minutes after your workout is a very important time to replenish the fuel and set you up for success for that next training session. So don't forget to reach for a nice cold glass of chocolate milk after your workout.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Hoffman Dental pitching change here this afternoon. Devon Ellis takes over for Miguel C. Reno here in the third inning. 4 appearances, no runs. That equals the sparkling 0 ERA through 6 2/3.
He's done a nice job out of the pen. All of his appearances have been out of the pen, and a couple times there they've been in kind of dicey situations after a rough start where he's inherited men on base and found a way to get out of it. Done a nice job for the Unicorns so far, which is a team that's already got a pretty strong bullpen before they even added him, but he's joining the party.
Obviously a much smaller sample size in all these guys, but he's got the best strike percentage. Nearly 68%. Donald Goodson at 66. Clenny at 65. Kamitas at 66 and Hensley at 62. Not getting a lot of swings and misses, but pitching to some contact, and the defenders have responded so far.
He's been used in situations where the guy he's coming in for, the starter that he's coming in for, has had trouble throwing strikes at times, and he's really settled down the pitching staff in his previous appearances. Comes right after guys.
Just 1 combined hit in his last 2 outings. Covers 2 1/3 innings. Has struck out 2 in that stretch and hasn't walked a batter. As Will Johnson looks at strike 1 as the sun brightens up everything here. One and one on Will Johnson. Had a 4-pitch walk back in the first inning. Here's the 1-2. Outside. Horner says good pitch, just didn't get the call or swing. Curve from Devon Ellis. 2-seam, 4-seam curve splitter. Splitter rarely used so far. It's going to hug the line. Bethencourt gives it a charge, and unlike the
that looked foul to me.
One we saw the other time, that one is going to hook foul.
Luckily for the Unicorns, he wasn't going to have a play on him there if it was fair.
Really good end of the outing for Miguel C. Reno. He retired the last 6 batters he faced, 4 of them being on the strikeout, so that's progress. Ellis trying to pick up right where he left off here. Lamar Briggs had a single and an RBI back in the first. It was Keeper reaching on a hit by pitch. Will Johnson on a walk, Briggs on the single. They all scored. The single by Scott Capers kept it going, and then Olin and Haffey went down on K's, and Landon Barnes flew out to end what could have been an even bigger inning. Damon Ellis inherits a 3-0 deficit and trying to keep it right where it is. That was the splitter in the dirt. He's thrown that just 2% in his outings thus far. Right around 85 miles an hour is where that ball has come in at. Hodo, 2 up and 2 down. Now Scott Capers looking for his 6th hit. He's picked it up lately. Had a game with 2 home runs earlier last week. Another one of those Texas products. We've got, what, 5 now here in the USPBL? The Texas Big League organization, that is. Ooh, way on that one. And skies at a mile foul.
Is it 5? I guess I didn't even realize it was that many now.
So Smith, Capers, Hoover. Maybe it's 4. Missing one other one. This one in for strike 2 on Scott. Nicolayo.
Right.
I think that might be it.
Okay.
Crowding Capers there, and they get everybody in the infield involved here in the 3rd inning. 6-3, 4-3, 5-3. Just what the doctor ordered for the Unicorns and Damon Ellis here. The aforementioned JJ presented by Michigan First Credit Union here this afternoon. There he is.
When it gets cooler in the fall, is there any chance we could get JJ to bring like a hot chocolate out there?
Oh, wow.
Or a coffee?
Maybe.
JJ the coffee?
That'd be a little bit tougher to not spill, though.
I would think so. He's not the best. I mean, you'd have to have a really...
look at that prance. There's no way he brings that out there.
high quality traveler mug.
The way he just drops the basket.
Would Michigan First be okay with JJ the barista?
Sure.
If things get a little bit cool. Is barista a gender-specific term, or does that apply to male and female both?
That I don't know.
I don't know enough about.
I feel like it might be gender
coffee.
neutral.
I have my coffee today, my standard black coffee from Dunkin' Donuts.
There you go. Is that an everyday thing for you?
No, not every day. Just actually, it tends to be when we get to the end of these. The end of these series of games. It's an everyday. It's definitely every doubleheader I have one.
Top of the order due up for the Utica Unicorns here. Trying to slice into this 3-0 lead for the Woolly Mammoths. This may be the last inning for Ben McKendall. There is some action starting to materialize in the bullpen. I believe that's Jared Wright, who is up, the scheduled man to come in for Ben. So I'm not sure if it's a hard 3 innings here today or if it depends on the pitch count, as this one is outside to McKendall. He said he would love to have no walks and under 3 hits through that. So he's at 3 hits right now. So.
Right. But no walks, correct?
Correct.
He's fallen behind on a couple guys, but found ways to climb back in.
Grooving swing by Luska as he whiffs. 2-1. Had a single back in the first inning, was stranded at 3rd in the end after McKendall bared down a little bit. Line out, ground out, strikeout after the first 2 men reached. Been picking the corners. The balls have been, pretty close. There hasn't been a lot
Yeah, he's trying to stay out of the middle of the plate, which is obviously always a good goal. And if you can do that without walking anyone, as he's done so far, that one caught some plate.
And that's going to carry all the way to the wall. Olin didn't take the best route. Heading to second base is Frankie Luska, and he cruises in with his 3rd double of the year.
That's I don't know that you can call it a mistake pitch necessarily, but it's a typical pitch when you get behind in the count. You know, that's why you don't really want to get to a 3-1 situation like that. You have to probably catch a little bit more of the plate than you're comfortable with, and that's what happened on that one, and Frankie made him pay.
Off the bat at 89. Here comes Dominic Bethencourt. Part of that 2-hit first inning for the Utica Unicorns. He also singled on a 3-1 delivery from McKendall.
Is the Bethencourt family still watching from the hair salon as they were
I've not seen that
earlier in the
comment
summer?
early as as often lately, I guess. So that's a good question. Maybe they can let us know. Maybe the hair salon's closed on Sunday.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, and 1 on Dominic Bethencourt. Hitting second again here today for Jim Essian's squad.
Did you get a Ben McKendall baseball card the other day when we were flipping through them?
I don't know if that's one I got.
You got a Hensley, a Goodson,
Clenny,
yep.
Haffey, Dobnak, Goatsees. I did not get a
okay.
McKendall.
No McKendall yet.
Fly ball, going to hang up there to right center. Going to allow Alec Olin to cruise over to the gap. No, it's Howard who actually takes it. McCoy. Howard was supposed to be in the outfield.
Right. Well, that'll get the Unicorns on the board anyway.
So sac fly RBI for Dominic Bethencourt. Coley Curry flips that back. One is away. 2-1. Nick Snyder on deck. He's your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the 3rd with 1 out. Outside. Here's the 3-1 from Ben McKendall. High and away, he walked him. So Snyder trying to break his 0 for 1 here today. A ground ball to third base. Average at 244 coming into play. 269 lately since August 8th in the last 10 games. Friday, he was 1 for 4 with a pair of RBIs on a single he had. Also had a walk. Walking a little bit more, 3 walks in his last 5. Still striking out at a pretty high clip, but I think they're okay with that as long as the power translates.
And as long as he takes his walks, I think, if he's not chasing balls out of the zone.
That one away. There's some more action in the Unicorns pen. It looks like Luke Dawson. They might just go inning by inning again here today.
Well, if Ellis's day is done, he did a nice job once again. Good to see from the Detroit native.
Keeps that ERA at 0. Here's the 2-1 to Snyder. Outside.
McKendall's been getting behind pretty regularly this inning, and that's playing with fire at this level. Really, at any level.
54 pitches deep. This is his third 3-1 count already here in the third inning. He only had 2 3-ball counts before this. One resulted in a walk. Here's the 3-1 again. On the ground to Briggs. Backs up, throws it low, and nobody is going to get out here in the third with only 1 down.
I think he decided sort of midstream there to throw that ball to second base, and he didn't really have his feet set in that direction. He came up as if he was going to throw it to first originally, and that's probably just what he should have done, taken the easier out.
Now Jordan Hovey trying to change his fortunes. Had a strikeout back in the first. Hovey, Bardzell, the next 2 in the lineup. Brought to you by Zach Hart Agency here today. A run already in. Another runner in scoring position at second base. First pitch to Hovey, low and in. We've seen quite a few base runners in just the last 3 days. I mean, you look at yesterday. 8 walks surrendered by Hopper's pitching in game 1 of the doubleheader, which resulted in a wild 10-9 game.
Well, it doesn't take a baseball genius to say that that's not going to work. You know, it's just basic baseball. If you put guys on with walks, if you make errors and give the team too many outs, those are things that are just not going to work, especially at this level.
Fouled off the slider there. McKendall's a guy who's pitched in Australia in the past 2 years in the offseason here for American baseball. Has a goal of pitching professionally there one day. 1-2, popped him up. Barnes and Haffey going at it. Barnes and actually McCoy will record the second out here of this third inning.
And you do not want to run on McCoy if you can avoid it.
Quite the rifle of an arm in right field. Ashton Bardzell, the last chance to make something more out of this third inning, which started with a double by Luska. He has since come around to score after the sac fly by Dominic Bethencourt. Bardzell playing right field again here today for the Utica Unicorns. .235 average for him, 7 runs driven in. He's also worked 10 walks. Good block by Cullum on the slider in the dirt. Slider ranges from 79 to 82 miles an hour. He came in throwing that 26% and getting 15% swings and misses on it. Briggs trying to recover, and he'll do just that for out number 3 here in the third inning. So 1 run off of Ben McKendall here in the third inning has made it a little tighter. It's now 3-1 here on the USPBL Network. Stick with us.
The difference that we bring to pediatric care isn't just the fact that we care deeply about our patients and want to partner with their parents in delivering the best care for their children, because a lot of pediatricians can deliver great care. What we do differently at Campground Pediatrics is we offer a different environment to deliver that care, and we offer personal service in a way that many practices can't.
Senior Spotlight brought to you by Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. Brendan Cosmic from Cousino High School graduated with a sparkling 3.9 GPA. He's attending Oakland University for business. Loves Michigan basketball, the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Lions as well. So congratulations to Brendan Cosmic on your high school honors. Good luck as an Oakland Golden Grizzly. Leslie Bethencourt on Facebook comments, "Hi, Dom's mom here. Not at a salon today, actually enjoying the game from the couch. We have all our clients watch the game during the week. Utica Unicorns are famous here in Dom's hometown, El Dorado Hills. Now we'll need to get unicorn gear to wear in California at the salon on game days." So there you go. Leslie watching from the couch here today. Luke Dawson out of the pen. He relieves Ellis, who took over for C. Reno. Another perfect frame for Timon Ellis.
Dawson had a little bit of command trouble his last time out with the fastball as well. Got it up to 93, though. His velocity was a little bit up. Has a tendency to get pretty good tail on it, and he just has to make sure he controls that tail.
Dawson, a starter at points this season. He's been more of a reliever lately. Alec Oland, Ross Haffey, and Landon Barnes will lead it off here in the 4th inning. Brought to you by Zach Hart Agency as Horner talks over the signs and signals for Luke Dawson. Horner obviously feeling all this out. It's kind of what we saw for Frankie Lusk in his first game catching. He had 6 or 7 arms that threw to him.
He may have just gone out there and said, "What's your name again?"
Oh, yeah, I met you in the pregame. Bethencourt over to first base. The tag.
Nice tag. Real nice tag.
By Strong for the first down.
Yeah, he's complaining, but he definitely got him. You know, I'm not sure what the complaint was about. Maybe he thought he touched the bag before the tag. That's possible.
Paul Nickenberger is out to argue here. We haven't seen a lot of arguments this year. Jim Essien had one earlier, but as wins become more important, you might see that a little bit more. Going to check it between umpires here.
Good tail on that fastball again. Another example of how it rides into a right-hander. Got that really on his fists.
Ten batters in a row retired here by Unicorns pitching, going back to C. Reno in the first. The Jaffe rate ruling of the game will remain the same call here. Here's the first pitch to Ross Haffey. In for strike 1. Take a second look at our YouTube monitor here. It's really going to be hard to tell whether he got him for sure, but it looked like it.
Yeah, he definitely tagged him, but I can see why Olin thought maybe his foot got in there first. Could have gone either way for sure.
Extra grunt from Dawson on that pitch as it pipes in there for strike 2. 7th outing for Dawson. 4th appearance out of the pen, and an uncomfortable swing there from Ross Haffey.
Very.
He struck out twice in this game. Got him on the 2-seam fastball there. Dawson with a 3.86 ERA through 14 innings of work. 10 walks to 15 strikeouts so far. 50% ground ball percentage. That's right up there with some of the best in terms of sinker ballers. Highest on the Unicorns, maybe highest in the league, I'd venture to guess. Sneaks inside to Landon Barnes.
He's got that type of movement on his 2-seamer where he's going to get a lot of ground balls.
Likes to pair the two-seamer with the slider. He'll use the slider early in counts as well.
That was it right there.
It's a really good one. Spin rate of an average Major League curveball, 2588 RPMs. Bentley University graduate, Division II collegiate appearance. 4 years there, 187 innings. High strikeout guy to low walk, 70 walks to 198 strikeouts. 5 appearances, all in relief in the USPBL last season. That one high to Landon Barnes. And it's certainly been an adjustment, and we've talked about it before for Dawson, but fastball at 90 miles per hour in the Division II level blows by guys most of the time, and he found out quick that wasn't necessarily going to work here in Pro Ball.
This game has a way of humbling you. One of my common sayings is baseball only has 2 kinds of people, the humble and those who are about to be.
Here's the 3-2.
Oh.
Ouch.
That was one of those two-seamers in that got away a little bit.
That one running up there at 93.
Yep. Saw that similar velocity his last time out too. Its velocity's been ticking up.
So that breaks the streak of retired batters that reached 10 in a row going back to the first. Now 2 outs and a runner on first. So today offensively for the Mammoths, 3 runs all in a row back in the first inning. They've recorded 2 hits, a walk, and 2 hit batters now. Garrett Kieber also hit to begin this game. Here's the 1-0 to Cullum. Swinging, and it's going to reach its way foul. One of the more usual hopping places here at Jimmy John's Field when more people are in attendance.
Oh, yes.
And that young man got that baseball.
Yes,
Look at he's hopping around there.
Excited about it.
Behind.
Looks like he's wearing a Hopper's hat, too, speaking of hopping.
Seth Strong, yes. 1-1 foul, and boy, they're getting beat up all of a sudden now. So on top of catching, which you naturally get dinged up a little bit more than normal, he now bangs one off his foot, and Horner buys him some time. No action in the Mammoths pen anymore, but that could mean that Jared Wright is ready to come in. I wouldn't guess that Ben McKendall would come out for another inning given that he just worked one of his longer ones of the day, but we'll see because the plan was 3 here today. Another slider spoiled back. Not as good a break on that one, and he left it up and in. You can have really good break on your off speed, but the second you leave it middle in for any hitter at this level is the moment you regret it.
Yep, you got to finish your pitches. Probably a good idea to throw over there. This is very typical count where you may run 1-2 with 2 outs.
Barnes has 4 steals on the year. Got a pretty good lead over there with the right-hander heaving here. That fastball at 91 outside. We thank everyone for tuning in here on the USPBL Network, whether it might be on YouTube or Facebook on your Sunday, and we definitely recommend that you get outside here if you're in the Michigan area. On the ground to Hovey. On the backhand, over to first. No, off the bag and away. It would have been a close play anyway with Cullum running.
It was a tough play. Deep in the hole.
That puts runners on first and second with 2 outs.
It's a long throw.
It's the third hit of the game for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and Andrew McCoy trying to put together some two-out magic here in the fourth. .91 and just able to get a subtle piece of that. Fly out to right for McCoy to Ashton Bardzell for the second out of the second inning. .01. The changeup. First strike two.
Doesn't throw that one very much.
And not at all. Right around that 82 mile per hour mark each time, 81 to 84 the range. Nearly got him to offer. But a good block by Horner in the end. Getting his money's worth in his first U.S. PBL game this year. Horner mostly catching in the Pecos League. Played a little first base as well. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning for Luke Dawson. Does a nice job to strand 2 runners on and keep a 3-1 lead for his team.
As we continue to respond to COVID-19 in our communities, Ascension Michigan is with you in this, and we are doing what matters to keep you safe in our care. At our hospitals and sites of care across the state, Ascension Michigan has additional safeguards in place. We are limiting visitors, ensuring proper social distancing in our waiting rooms, offering more online visits, and performing rigorous procedures to clean and disinfect. Our care teams are delivering babies and performing surgery. Now more than ever, it's important not to delay your health care. Schedule your appointments. Make sure children are getting their vaccinations. And if you have an emergency, don't wait. Go straight to your closest Ascension ER. Thank you for continuing to protect yourself and our community by washing your hands, wearing a face covering, and social distancing. Our doctors, nurses, and staff are ready for you when you need us. This is what we do best.
Reading program School the Game, presented by CGC Water and Hungry Howie's, Salk Elementary, in the Fraser School District. Teacher Spotlight, Miss Kajek here today. So we wish them best of luck. School starting soon for the public ranks. I know a lot of privates have already started their year. Ben McKendall is done after 3 innings, as we expected here today. Josh Wright will take over for him. He's a Hoffman Dental pitching change here in the 4th inning of play. Jared Wright. I think I just said Josh Wright.
We did have a Josh Wright at one time in the league.
Jared Wright, 1.99 ERA, 31 2/3 innings, 10 walks to 26 strikeouts. What do you like out of him so far?
Well, he's good. He's got good stuff. His last time out against the Unicorns in a start, left his off-speed stuff up in the zone a little bit early on and got hurt a little bit early in that game, but settled down and ended up commanding it better. I personally really like his curveball, which he doesn't throw a ton, but it's a slower off-speed pitch that he gets a lot of swing and miss on. And I always felt like maybe he should throw that one a little bit more, but he's been good. He's been good this year.
Curveball 10% of the time. Fastball of the 2-seam variety 35%, 4-seam 19%, and the slider the second most used, pitched at 21. There's a fly ball to right field. That's chasing McCoy back, circling out there, watches it, goodbye! Onto the berm. Only the second AB for Seth Strong, and he shows why Jim Essien brought him here.
And welcome to the game, Jared Wright. Jeez, that's not the welcome he was looking for. I was just about to say he doesn't really get a lot of swing and miss on his fastball. And, you don't think that somebody's going to swing first pitch when you're out there coming into a game brand new. But Seth Strong probably thinking, well, I don't know any of these pitchers anyway, so I may as well swing at the first pitch I like.
Off the bat at 85, 356 feet later, and it's a 3-2 game. The 4th home run given up on the year by Jared Wright. Him and Ben McKendall have given up that figure. Strong hit 8 home runs in the last 2 years in the Pecos League for 3 different teams. Played for 2 different ones this year. Ended up in Roswell most recently. I believe that's the Roswell Invaders. Referring to the reported alien activity.
Oh, that's right.
That's happened there.
Sure.
Strikeout to Colton Horner for out number 1. I feel like there's an affiliated team around the Vegas area that's also
the 59s or something, right? Area 59.
First pitch to Hodo outside.
And there's that curveball. He missed his spot with it, but he's got nice depth.
Gets 24% swings and misses on the curve. See that service that Eric just got?
I did. He got
the heck window service
our
here.
Stat man got a servant to bring him something.
Good scoop by Kieber, and Haffey will pull that off the line. I believe both Eric's parents are in attendance here today, so maybe that was his father.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Frankie Luska halfway to a cycle. The 2-1's hardest to get to her left. Triple home run.
We haven't seen a lot of triples this year. We saw Pontius just recently got a triple.
Yeah, he kind of dug that into the right field corner. It was yesterday. Game 1, I believe. If this foul territory continued down the left and right field line, I think you'd see a lot of triples.
Yes.
I mean, you look at how far it is to each dugout.
Right.
We see pop-outs that would, in every other park besides maybe the Oakland Coliseum, escape out, kind of drop just in front of the barrier. Down the line to right field this time. It's going to sink into that corner. McCoy to it fast, and John Hodo going to go first to third.
Nice piece of hitting there by Lusko. Got a fastball on the inside part of the plate and really exploded his hips, pulled his hands in, and kept that fair down the right field line.
Bethencourt come to the plate here. Sac fly and an RBI and a single in the first.
Looks like they're going to run for Frankie Lusko.
It's Malik Blaze coming in to get an appearance here.
And that would be the go-ahead run over there at first.
So runners on first and third. Oh, Luska stayed at first. I didn't even notice that.
Yes.
Home run by Seth Strong. Begins this inning with a bang. It's 3-2 at the moment. That might change off the bat here. Olin can't get it. All the way to the wall it goes. Hodo easily around to score. Blaze, same story. And what do you know? A triple for Dominic Bethencourt.
Speaking of triples, right center, that seems to be the spot.
Olin has been playing in all night long, so that maybe attributes a little bit to that one carrying over his head to the right center field gap. And the Unicorns able to snatch a 4-3 lead.
We've been looking for the Unicorns to get a little bit more consistent offensively, and of course the pickup of Seth Strong has been a plus so far, and Dominic Bethencourt and Frankie Luska, the guys at the top of the lineup, are coming through.
First pitch to Coley Curry in for strike one. He had to walk back in the third inning. 3-1 count there. He's worked the count both times. Had a great at-bat in the first, fouling off 3-4 tough pitches of Ben McKendall's, and he's able to get a base knock here and drive in another run. Didn't see this coming.
No.
Bethencourt scores. It's Strong, Hodo, Bethencourt, and Luska, who have all touched home plate here in the fourth.
So what type of room service did Eric get over there? Did he get himself a hamburger?
Got a hamburger.
Okay.
Yeah, with some mustard. Some cheese on top.
Looks like he's enjoying his Sunday afternoon here at the ballpark.
Sunday fun day in the booth here too.
We haven't seen him without his mask on in a while. Now that he's eating, we don't often
it's
see.
Like he's a different person.
Yeah, we didn't know who that was anymore.
1-0 on Nick Snyder. That's the question. Are we going to recognize people we met in COVID times when they don't have a mask on?
It'll be like Wilson from Home Improvement all of a sudden showing his face. Is that an old reference now? Maybe does Eric
got you.
Does Eric even know that show? Okay.
He's
nodding.
Improvement. Look at him. Here's the first pitch to Snyder. Dribbler to the left. Ooh, barehanded by right.
Nice play.
There's the second out. We don't quite have cable at our house yet. We've just been streaming a lot of things, and maybe that's the way we'll go. I haven't really decided that, but we have an antenna, you know, the digital antenna that everyone had to get after they kind of squashed the original antenna. And
the converter thing.
Home Improvement is one of the ones that constantly runs on one of the channels. I don't know what it is, but
nice.
So it's on sometimes. Jordan Hovey, already the 8th man to bat here in the 4th inning, and that escapes Isaiah Cullum, and now Curry stands on third base, 90 feet away from the 6th run here in the 4th inning all of a sudden. 1 in the 3rd, 3 here in the 4th. It's been a productive day all of a sudden for this Utica Unicorns offense. Jim Essian looks pretty smart bringing in Seth Strong.
He does. Positive return on that move.
There's some more action in the Mammoths pen. It looks like just some stretching and maybe walking around for John Murphy. Wouldn't expect to see him this early, though. Dante Glover, John Murphy, Dazon Cole, Anthony Travato, and Tasker Strobel potentially available here today. Not sure on Strobel because he started. How many did he go? I can't quite remember. 2-0.
2, I think. Actually, he didn't even. No, I don't think he even went 2. I think it was less. He had trouble getting out of the first, didn't he? I know all the games run together.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he was lifted after facing 10 batters in the first.
Yeah, he threw some pitches though.
Gave up 8 runs in total. That's bodied down by Ross Haffey. The former hockey player, like a hockey goalie, getting in front of that one there. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it. The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store. Hollywood Supermarkets, giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Look at the expansive foul territory that we talked about earlier. Same down the first and third base line. A lot of it has to do with kind of involving fans and action in how this ballpark was built. Pitching change brought to you by Hoffman Dental. Newly shaved Greg Shanahan.
It's turning into another bullpen day.
It is. Not something we necessarily expected coming into the game here today.
In that bullpen day, overall a very good day for the Unicorns, and they put together a really nicely pitched game. Greg Shanahan had probably the most trouble out of everyone, which is not, saying anything striking because he ended up getting out of his inning, but he did walk 2 guys, had some trouble controlling his fastball.
Kyle Shanahan. Or Kyle Shanahan. Greg Shanahan with a 6.75 ERA, 24 innings, 23 walks to 26 Ks. To his credit thus far. Four-seam fastball, two-seam fastball, slider, cutter, changeup. Cutter and the change used the least. Last appearance in inning, no hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, 17 pitches overall. Has had a few starts. Those were 4 in a row between the 18th of July and the 8th of August. Garrett Kieber, the top of the order, will lead things off, followed by Will Johnson and Lamar Briggs. That look brought to you by Zach Hart Agency. Kieber was hit by a pitch in the first, came around to score. And what seemed like for a while a comfortable 3-0 lead for this Westside team. But a great inning offensively by the Unicorns in the fourth. They sent 8 to the plate and scored 3 of their own after a run in the third inning as well to make it 5-3. Top of the order has all scored. Top 3 in the order, that is, for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Two-one in there for a strike, 2-2. Looks like they're going to go inning by inning. Donald Goodson now warming up as well. He'll probably pitch the 6th with Clenny maybe going in the 7th.
Yeah, if they can get through this one, they're going to be in pretty good shape.
That one reaches back towards some of the fans here today. Outside with the slider. Shanahan has a lot of spin on his pitches. Nearly over 2,000 on every one but the change, and that's at 1960. Fastball will top out at 92. Velocity hasn't been an issue for Greg. It's been more the command and control element. Seth Strong, big factor at first base with that nice tag play. Hit a home run to start the rally by these Unicorns.
That was a sneaky nice play that he just made there, too. That ball took kind of a funny hop. It looked like it was going to stay up, and then it took sort of a shorter hop and stayed down.
Will Johnson walked in that first inning, came around to score, and then grounded out in his second at bat in the third. Looks at strike one. 171 average coming into play today. 5 walks to 9 strikeouts now. He's driven in 6 runs. Mar Briggs would be next, then Scott Capers here in the 5th. Flared into right, gonna drop as a base hit and maybe more. Johnson has speed. He rounds the first base bag and he's gonna get there standing up.
Yeah, he was going 2 right out of the box. Didn't hesitate at all.
It's good to see out of Will Johnson. Gets one to drop. Batting average on balls in play has been pretty low for Johnson this year. And that generally indicates for a good hitter, as Johnson is, that you're just not having any luck. That figure coming into today, 194.
Sample size can be your friend as we get deeper and deeper into this season. I'm sure his average is going to creep up.
It's his 3rd extra base hit of the year. Had a triple and a home run coming into today's game. It's a guy who had back-to-back seasons in his junior and senior year at Eastern Kentucky at the Division I level of 10 or more home runs. So he can swing it, and he can run really well as well. Swing and a miss. Wow, had him golfing at the 78-mile-per-hour slider.
Shanahan's had pretty good command so far in this outing. Better than the last time out.
Got a few pitches in on the hands of these hitters here today, and at 92-93, that can do a lot of good.
Even that ball to Johnson was not a bad pitch.
That was one of those, I guess, instances of a ball, depending on where the outfielder is playing, and he did a good job of hooking it towards the line, so most of the time you won't have a guy hugging the line, especially against Johnson, who can spray it to all fields, but one of the ones that hung up there that probably has been caught more often than not this year against him. So numbers even out usually in terms of those type of balls. Tigers and the Twins playing another game here today. Important game for Detroit. Tied 2-2. Casey Mize with another start here today. He was lifted after going just 3. Top prospect for the Tigers. 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Tyler Alexander now throwing. Twins sending out Kenta Maeda, who's been really good this year. Nearly threw a no-hitter a couple weeks back. 1-1 on maybe a hit and run there. Runner on second base, fouled off.
I don't think it was a called hit and run with 2 outs, but I think just one of those opportunities where it looked like it was going to be an easy swipe of a base. Not really holding him on.
Is that going to get through? No. Good job by Bethencourt to cut it off. And a good job by Greg Shanahan to reel it back in after the 1-out double here in the 5th. Still a 2-run lead for his squad.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Kid of the game, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. It's Kendall Justison. Commerce Elementary, is 4 years old. Likes playing outside. Got some tacos there.
Yeah, looks like a Taco Tuesday, maybe.
Yeah. That sounds good right about now.
It does. Haven't had that in a while, I don't think.
How do you survive at the ballpark? I never see you eating here.
Well, keep in mind, I usually come from the USPBL offices where I have a refrigerator there where keep a few things, and here at the ballpark I do snag something from the kitchen every once in a while, but I don't come up here to the booth nearly as early as you do.
Jared Wright pitching his 2nd inning, hoping for a much quicker 5th than he saw in the 4th. 8 batters came to the plate. It all started with a home run by Seth Strong, and was able to get the first out via the K to Colton Horner. Hoda with a single, he came around to score eventually. Luska with a single, he came around to score. Both of those guys driven in by the triple by Dominic Bethencourt. RBI single by Curry drove him in, and then back-to-back groundouts on the infield allowed Wright to get out of it after giving up 4 runs.
Wasn't sure if we'd see him back out for a second one or not.
Wright hasn't had many relief appearances this year. You look back at his last one, it was on July 3rd. First week of the season, his only appearance. They knew he was going to be a starter overall coming into this year. That one relief appearance was pretty good. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts through 52 pitches. To left, this is Marcus Irving with a pinch hit appearance here for Alec Olin in the 4th, and he lines out. Pretty nice swing, though. A ball that was down. Actually, that was for Ashton Bardzell, not Oland, in the outfield. Bardzell checks out after going 0 for 2. And here's Seth Strong. He had a home run in the 4th to kick things off.
Not a lot glaringly wrong with Wright today. It just seems like he's catching a lot of the plate with his fastball, and his fastball has just been unusually hittable.
That one way high, 1-2.
Of course, as soon as I say he's been getting a lot of plate with the fastball, he uncorked one about 3 feet too high.
It's been happening all season. 2-strike pitch.
That was a good spot for it.
Just low, apparently. Changeup.
Gets a little swing back on his changeup.
Here's the even delivery now, way outside at 89. Full count to Seth Strong. Already 30 pitches for Jared Wright out of the bullpen. There is no throwing action at the moment. Donald Goodson continuing to... Actually, no, that's Bobby Comitas now. So Goodson was stretching, and throwing lightly before, but now it's Komitas who gets up and tosses in the bullpen for the Unicorns. Chopped foul. Another slider. Waiting on the 3-2 pitch with the infielders back with one out and the bases clear. Haffey. Nice job to kind of surround that one and play the hop a little bit.
Made a nice feed.
Jared Wright able to get over in time. 2 up and 2 down. It's the start he was looking for here in the 5th. He's quietly retired 4 in a row. Also a really good job not to walk Seth Strong in the end as he got him to a 3-2 count. Horner looks at a pitch outside. Drove in 28 runs in the Pecos League this year before coming over. .87-mile-an-hour fastball. Couldn't catch the zone here. Here's the 2-0. In there for strike 1. So McKendall turning it over to Jared Wright for the Unicorns. See Reno starting, Alice relieving, Dawson coming in for him, and Shanahan after that, and possibly Bobby Komitas in the next half. So we head to the 6th, potentially in 1 pitch for Wright. Close. Just off the plate outside with the slider.
Hitting his spots better this inning than the previous with all of his pitches.
Here's the 3-2. Popped him up. Barnes gives way for McCoy. Stares straight into the sun, and that is 1-2-3 inning for Jared Wright. Just what the doctor ordered after the 8-batter, 20-plus 4th.
With us, you can expect something more. More guidance.
Do you trust me, Mom?
More dedication. More commitment. So you can celebrate today and be prepared for tomorrow. Insurance through AAA. Expect something more.
When you need emergency care, you want your hospital to be ready for whatever comes through the door. Ready for any injury and any illness. Ready to respond at the speed of emergencies. That's why McLaren Macomb built a new emergency department. With advanced technology, clinical expertise, and 68 private exam rooms, we're Macomb County's largest emergency department, and we're ready for you whenever you need us. That's emergency care at McLaren Macomb. That's doing what's best.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
USPBL standings presented by Scott's here this afternoon. Unicorns the class of the league. It's been that way all year long, 16-10, trying to repeat their championship again from last year.
And they're going to stay right in first place if they keep getting quality innings out of their bullpen, like this guy. Bobby Komitas has been as reliable as anyone in this league coming out of the bullpen. And you feel very safe handing a lead to him at this point.
.81 ERA, 4 walks to 24 strikeouts. And as good as they come out of the bullpen this year for Jim Essian's team. Deep arsenal as well.
A little bit different than a couple of the guys they have down in the pen. He doesn't have that overpowering type fastball, more 86, 87-ish, but throws everything for strikes, hits his spots. Been very effective.
Second year in the USPBL, through 12 innings last year. Former Creighton closer for the Blue Jays.
Could certainly see him being a starter potentially with all the pitches he's able to command in the strike zone.
He said he'd love to do it. One of his favorite things is kind of learning new pitches, learning the grips. But he understands that for the most part his role to best help ball clubs here at the pro level has been out of the pen. Fly ball to left, that's carrying Leska back for out number 1 here in the 6th inning.
See what Ross Haffey does here. He's having a rough day with the 2 strikeouts. First time that we've seen him have a day like this in quite a while. See if he can turn it around here.
Came in with hits in 7 of his last 8 games, 9 for 23 in that stretch with 9 RBIs, 3 home runs, and just 4 strikeouts. It's pretty impressive. 1-0 is low and outside. I dove into the story of Bobby Komitas a little bit more on the research end before his last start. Attended St. Joseph's College in Indiana, which is now closed, a Division I school at that point. He was looking for a place to play. Creighton had scouted him, one of the assistant coaches, but he got injured, needed surgery, which kind of temporarily shelved the offer. Then he had a appointment to take the GMAT test to get into the business program over at Creighton, as this one is off the glove of Hovey and kicked to his right. Should be an infield single here for Ross Haffey with 1 out in the 6th. So a storm prevented him from getting to the test. He called up the assistant dean of the graduate business programs at Creighton. It was Chris Karasek, who he had met at a basketball game, kind of touring campus, and he said, hey, can you help me out? She asked him one question: do you want to be a Blue Jay? And he said yes, and then all of a sudden he had a conditional acceptance. But it doesn't end there, Dan. She enrolled him in the toughest business course at Creighton, and she said, you must get an A to be fully admitted, and he got an A.
No kidding.
So that's a presser situation.
He seems like a very determined young man from just the times that I've talked to him.
Jim Essian says he's one of the best competitors in this league.
I believe it. I also took that GMAT test. That's not an easy test.
I'm not good at standardized tests in general. Here's the 1-1. I guess I don't have to be anymore, right?
No. I don't like
Hopefully.
I don't like to read for long periods of time, which is why I decided against going the law school route personally. Can't do law school unless you're really good at reading case studies and all those types of things. It's a lot of reading.
Here's the 2-1 on Barnes. Got him to pop up. Hovey calling for it. That's for the 2nd out here of the 6th inning. Now Isaiah Cullum will be the last shot for this Woolly Mammoths offense, who find themselves now down to the last 4 outs in this game after they led 3-0 to start.
Bobby's very adept at missing the sweet spot of the bat. He's not a guy who always gets a ton of swing and misses, although he definitely does on his slider and his splitter. He certainly gets his share of swing and miss, but he induces a lot of weak contact.
Strike percentage of 66%. Second best to Damon Ellis, as we talked about earlier. He has a lot of trust in his defenders.
Well, look at what throwing strikes does. I mean, those two guys have been outstanding. Pound the zone, throw strikes, let the hitters get themselves out.
I think I mentioned before the last game, Kamina started on Wednesday. He credits he credits his strikeout to walk ratio as luck. Pretty much.
It's a very humble young man.
4 walks to 24 Ks coming into today. Says it's certainly comforting, relieving with the good fielders behind him. As this one got in on the hands to the wall, and oh goodness, that's way foul. But the way Lusko reacted, I thought he was watching it.
Yeah, it was
go out. I didn't have a track on the ball.
Well, I thought it was going to go foul, but it went much further foul than I thought it was going to. It really hooked hard.
Nearly out of the ballpark here, past the Chevrolet Pavilion to that one of the bars out there, I believe. 2-2, hit it fair and over the glove of Dominic Bethencourt. And now they have a little action here with 2 outs, runners on first and second, and McCoy coming up.
Well, it's a big at-bat here. Got the go-ahead run at the plate, the tying run on first base with 2 outs. This is a big at-bat.
Really good first pitch. Slider there for strike 1. Slider, split change, knuckle curve, 2-seam, 4-seam.
Oh. Wow.
Responding is Bethencourt.
And Bobby's going to owe him a beverage after the game.
Strands 2 runners here in the 6th inning. They're still hanging on to a 2-run lead.
I enjoy renovating my home, so getting materials with my Chevy Silverado is a daily trip. But as the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever, it's perfect for all my projects. And with the most functional bed of any pickup, plus the power-up down tailgate, my Silverado helps me with everything I need. Of course, a little assist from a friend doesn't hurt.
Lease a 2020 Silverado Custom Crew Cab 4-wheel drive for just $323 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Upcoming games presented by Motor City Casino Hotel. Wednesday through Monday rotation coming around after a couple days off. It's the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers on Wednesday with a 7:05 start. Then the Unicorns and the Hoppers Thursday, and the Mammoths and the Beavers on Friday.
Dazon Cole on for the Mammoths.
We've seen a lot of pitchers come in and out of this game, mostly for the Utica Unicorns. Have used this as another bullpen day, the second of the week.
Not sure if they expected it to play out exactly that way or not. You know, they may not have got as many innings out of C. Reno as they expected originally.
Dazon Cole has not given up a run thus far through 16 2/3 innings, 9 walks to 21 strikeouts.
That's not bad.
Not at all. bringing that good fastball.
Cole, Travato, and Ellis. I think 3 guys all in the ballpark today who haven't given up a run yet, I believe.
Easy one for him to handle there as he slings it over to Haffey. It's now 5 straight retired by Mammoth pitching, going back to the 4th inning. That's been the big inning thus far for this Unicorns offense. 1 in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th. All 3 of the Westside runs scored back in the 1st inning. And it's looking like they may face Donald Goodson to try to close it out. Goodson was up before Comitas, and then they put Bobby back in the bullpen. Clenny has already thrown twice this week, so maybe that's why we won't see him in the 7th, the virtual 9th here in a 7-inning game.
Cole, all fastballs out of the gate thus far. Gotten up to 94 with one of them.
Blaze hit for Luska in the 4th inning. Got a single. Came around to score.
Cole, another guy that I'm quite certain is going to find his way back to affiliated ball here at some point.
2 up and 2 down here in the 6th inning. Was a part of the Los Angeles organization before coming here, the Angels. Here's Dominic Bethencourt. He's had quite the day.
Sure has.
Productive AB every time up thus far. Single in the 1st, sac fly in the 3rd, triple in the 4th.
Player of the game candidate, I would say.
I would think so. Total of 3 RBIs thus far. This one sinks low.
Diving stop. Did we catch that too?
Yeah, that was a nice, really nice look to strand some base runners. Fly ball to left. Johnson under it for the 3rd out. And that's a snappy inning for Dazon Cole. Ground out, strikeout, fly outs. Time for your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers race as Johnson races into the dugout here trying to get some runs for his team.
Those Motor City wheels are messing around, waiting to get the car to go downtown. La 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 la. Taking some time and having some fun, waiting to get the call that it's time to run. La, la, la.
Holy hot rods, it's race time. Chevy Detroit wheels, start your engines.
Who you got here today, Dan?
I'm gonna wait and see him first. I've been burned before. We've had some cars in the shop and things like that, so I'm gonna wait till I see who's out here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a quick start there.
It is.
I'm gonna go with Petey Pickup though.
It's a 2-man horse here.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I'm going with Petey Pickup.
2-man race.
I'll take my 50-50 shot on Petey Pickup. They might trade some paint here. He's coming on strong. He's taking the long route, though.
Scurry's right in front of Bethencourt there, who comes out.
Come on, Petey. Make the turn. It's not a good route. Oh, they're close. They're
That's
close.
the closest finish we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Camaro just by
a nose.
Just by a nose there.
By a grill.
Donald Goodson, a Hoffman Dental pitching change here in the 7th inning. 6th arm that Jim Essian has used here today. Reno went 1. Damon Ellis went 1. Same for Dawson. Same for Shanahan, Comitas, and They hope Donald Goodson here in the 7th is will face the top of the order in Garrett Keeber, Will Johnson, and Lamar Briggs.
And a save opportunity here for Dunn. He's pretty nasty, I'll tell you. He's not a guy I would want to face.
He had a really good changeup his last outing.
Sure did.
And when that's going well, you might as well forget it in the late innings.
Not only is it deceptive because of his arm action and the differential from his fastball, but it's got a sharp tailing action to it also.
28.6% swing and miss rate on that changeup.
Yep.
Keeber is swinging. It's almost like, yeah, you gotta find a way to hit the 94-mile-an-hour fastball early in the count to stay away from the change.
Right.
There it is. And an uncomfortable swing for Garrett Keeber. Oh, 2 on Garrett. Buzzes his tower there. That inside and high pitch brought to you by Summit Oral every game. 1-2 on Garrett Keeber. Will Johnson would be next, and Lamar Briggs, your Zach Hart agency 3 men due up, and
there it is.
The changeup makes quick work of Keeber here. Second strikeout of the game against Unicorns pitching here today.
The Westside left fielder, Will Johnson.
That one in for strike 1 on Will Johnson. He had a double back in the 5th and a walk in the 1st. Johnson, better swings lately. Good to see him get one fall. Does get a decent swing on the changeup there. Mammoths need at least 2 to tie. 3 to go ahead in the top of the 7th inning. 2-2. Oh boy. 96 on the gun. Low and in. But just a ball low. Everybody in the infield back. You with 1 out and the base is clear. Full count delivery up high at 85. So that's a start.
Yeah, I got the tying run to the plate now, so anything can happen, especially a few guys coming up with home run power.
Some power pinch hitting here for Lamar Briggs. One swing in the bat could tie this game, and this is a candidate for that.
Yeah, may as well take your shot.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that was right literally on the hands. I mean, there's not more than 8 inches of bat there, I don't think, left in his hand.
Look at that lumber, man.
Just clean break.
It's a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that had spin of nearly 2,500 on it to the interior of the plate. No wonder why it snapped the bat, and Goodson can't help but smile.
That's lethal.
Well, Fernando Rodney, certainly somebody who we think of in terms of the plus Bugs Bunny type changeup. If you're wondering the swing and miss rate on that, in 2019, 43%. So Goodson has a while to get to that, but still, it's a really good pitch. This one into center field with the runner moving, and now Johnson ends up on third base with Jones on first. And Scott Capers, the guy who's had home run power this year, coming to the dish.
That was a classic hit and run swing right there. He kept the ball on the ground to the right side and hit it right through the hole vacated by the second baseman. Nice piece of hitting there by Dre Jones. Getting a little dicey now for the Unicorns with one out. Tying run at first base. Go ahead run at the plate.
Capers, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, has driven in 3 runs so far this year. Runner in motion to second now. He's going to heave it down. It skips in, and that's going to cost him a run. Will Johnson scores, and don't get too comfortable. It's a 1-run game.
Mammoths are taking chances this inning, and they're paying off. Appreciate the aggressive nature of what they've been doing. Hit and run, stealing another base. Now they're a base hit away from possibly tying this ball game.
It's the brand of baseball that Paul Nickenbrugge likes to play.
Even making the move to bring in Keandre Jones is taking a chance. You know, he's a guy that strikes out a lot, and he's coming in for one of your more regular guys, Lamar Briggs, but it paid off.
We're starting to see a little bit more late inning strategy moves by these managers in the last, I don't know, 3 games or so. I guess you could say it's progressively building this week. I don't know what you call the bullpen day, quote unquote, for the Unicorns. Is that more strategy or just guys starting to get work in? I would say more work in.
Yeah, I think so, but it does play into their strengths also. They have a lot of good arms, and they can potentially string together a good day like that, whereas some clubs may not be able to.
Looks like Nolan Clenny has begun to toss. John Murphy, in case he's needed in the bottom of the 7th, has begun to throw. So the bullpen's relaxing after a guy like Donald Goodson, who's been really good this year, comes in, but now they're stirring on both sides. Only the second earned run given up this year by Donald Goodson. He's now given up 4 in total. He's also walked his 5th batter of the year. Came in with 4 walks and 18 strikeouts. Now has 19 with his 1 earlier. And looking to potentially get a big one here with Scott Capers.
Capers helped him out there, chased that one out of the zone. To me, it looks like Don's falling a little bit toward his glove side. When he stays more in line with home plate, he has much better command.
2-2, swing and a miss. Got to complete it, and Capers does as he heaves it down to Seth Strong. 2nd strikeout of the inning, and now 1 out from getting out of things unscathed as Alec Olin will be the last chance. We're assuming that Jamal Howard is not available here today. He was a late scratch as it was supposed to be Keandre Jones and Andrew McCoy off the bench. We've obviously seen Jones come in and get himself an AB here in the 7th.
Well, strategically here, you've got yourself an open base, but I don't think you want to face Ross Haffey.
Not at all, and it doesn't look like he has to if this one is squeezed. Good job today by Seth Strong at first base as he is able to hammer home the 3rd out. It got dicey for the first time in a long time against Donald Goodson this year. Walk to begin the 7th inning with 1 out by Johnson. Comes around to score as Keandre Jones knock. Rebounded off the glove of John Hodo. Gets the strikeout to Scott Capers and the pop out to Alec Goland. And the Unicorns able to celebrate their 17th victory of the year, Dan.
Yeah, did a nice job coming back to take the lead in this one. Their offense is getting a little bit better consistently. They added a couple bats like we talked about earlier. Certainly positive returns so far on Seth Strong, and also Colton Horner with a base hit. Goodson a little bit shaky, but they got away with it.
Idle Lab postgame show coming up next. Dan will catch up with your Michigan surgery specialist player of the game from the United Shore Media Desk when we get back here on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we're unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
Looking for a great rate on a new vehicle? Introducing our credit union's Drive promotion with rates as low as 1.89% and no payments for 90 days. Or refinance and save on your current auto loan with our 1% lower guarantee. You can now get pre-approved and close a loan remotely with our convenient online application process. Stop in today or visit ourcuonline.org/drive to drive away happy.
At Priority Health, we're embarking on a new normal, embracing the changes needed to keep Michigan safe. While that may look a little different for everyone, Priority Health is here to help. With access to the care you need, the doctors you want, and the quality coverage you can afford. So you can get back to this, and this, safely, steadily, and with the smartest health coverage possible.
From the very get-go in your major, you are doing things involved with your major. And they really do a good job with finding professors that not only know what they're talking about, but know how to teach what they're talking about.
Here, the professor cares about your success and is willing to work for it with you.
You get the intensive care from each professor. You get the interactions with different students both in and outside of your major.
There's always something happening on campus. There's always something to do. Go visit campus and really experience everything that campus has to offer. Once you do that, it makes up your mind for you.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Last year, Belfour did 114,000 different jobs around the world. We've been to floods, fires, tornado sites, earthquakes, where people have lost everything. Yes, your homes can be rebuilt, and yes, your businesses will be rebuilt, but most importantly, your lives will be rebuilt. There's nothing that we cannot fix, and we believe that.
It's our pictures.
To me, that's Belfour. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
All right, Dan Griesbaum Jr. here at the United Shore Media Desk for the Auto Lab post-game show. Here with the player of the game, third baseman Dominic Bethencourt. Dom, great game. Two
Appreciate
hits,
you.
single, triple, sacrifice fly, made a diving stop that may have potentially saved the game as well.
Yeah.
Felt pretty good out there today, obviously.
Yeah, it was a good day for sure.
You guys have a good ball club. What's your feeling about this Unicorns club? You guys are in first place. You seem to have great pitching, and maybe the offense was lagging for a little bit, but you guys are starting to pick up on the offensive side. It looks like no one's going to catch you guys at this point.
Yeah, well, we have a great hitting guy and guy that works with us with ground balls and all that, Diesel. He's the man. You know, we don't stop on our off days. A lot of these guys just hang out and chill, you know, go out to eat. Like, we're on the ball field, you know, on our off days and stuff.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's no room for error at this point. We're working hard enough. We're preparing ourselves to win, so.
Seems like you won a lot of 1-0, 2-1 type ball games for a while, and now the offense is starting to battle back too.
Yeah, we're swinging it now though. We're swinging it now though. Everyone's you know, confident. They got like, you know, 50 ABs under their belt, so everyone's ready to go. So I mean, I just see it going up from here.
Well, you guys added a couple that you know, maybe you're not overly familiar with yet, but Seth Strong, Colton Horner. What are your initial thoughts of those two guys?
I mean, Seth showed out today. I mean, hit a bomb his first game with us. He's a cool guy. I was talking to him a little bit before the game. They all love baseball, all grinders, so.
Fit right in with the team?
Absolutely.
Good. Well, you guys got a strong bullpen. I mean, you see Bobby today, and Nolan has been out there a lot. Goodson. It seems like the strength of the club has been the bullpen, and if the offense can get going too, it's going to be tough to catch you guys.
That's right.
So you're from El Dorado, California.
El Dorado Hills, yeah.
El Dorado Hills, California.
Yeah, that's my hometown.
What are your thoughts of Michigan so far?
It's cool. I mean, the weather's a little weird, but I'm getting used to it. It's very humid out here, so all you guys from Cali, get used to that.
Right. Now, we've on the broadcast, we occasionally hear from the viewers, and we've had your mom chime in, I think, Leslie, right?
Yeah,
and she's been watching from the salon.
Yeah,
so, tell us about that.
So my parents own a salon back home, and she literally cuts everybody's hair in the area. So like, it's packed in there at all times. So when we're playing, she puts the game on in the salon, and you know, she's very supportive of me. So I'm very blessed to have her in my life. And it was actually her birthday yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And I got to have a pretty good game for her yesterday, or the day before. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mom. She said today she was not watching from the salon on a Sunday, but
she was relaxing at home, you know.
Well, I'm sure they enjoyed today's ball game.
Yeah.
So you've got some experience, you know, coming in. You came out of Napa, correct, in the Pacific Association?
Yep.
What are your thoughts of this league here with the USPBL compared to your previous experience? Some similarities, some differences?
The only difference I really see is that there's a lot of younger guys out here. When I was playing in the Pacific Association the last 2 years, I was like the younger guy.
Okay.
So when I'm out here, I'm more the older guy. There's a lot of guys like 22 to 24. You see those 26-year-olds, but when I was playing there last year, I mean, I was facing guys like JP Howell, who came out of the big leagues, you know, a lot of older guys, a lot of guys that are just still hungry for it,
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like getting that experience of like playing with older guys kind of made me have a good leadership role for this team.
Sure.
So.
And this being more of a developmental league, I'm sure one of your goals is to catch on with an affiliated club.
Absolutely.
And what do you feel like you need to do with your game to get to that point?
Well, I'm a corner infielder, so definitely got to hit some bombs. But I feel like I've been doing pretty good, you know, hitting the gap shots, and I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. I think I'll get there eventually.
Just stay the course, and hopefully when MILB picks back up, you know, probably not until next year, but more opportunities, I'm sure, at that point.
Yeah, that's the goal. Hopefully I get hit up after the end of the season and see what happens.
Right. Well, doing a great job so far. The Unicorns in a great position, and a great game today with Dominic Bethencourt, our player of the game. Back up to you, Jeremy Otto.
Thanks, Dan. Good stuff there from Dominic Bethencourt. Has definitely had a nice start to his USPBL career, and a big reason why this Utica Unicorn squad was able to take home a victory here today. A busy week and a crowded week of some good USPBL action. The same will be true next week with an extra game on Labor Day Monday as well. For the whole crew here today, I'm Jeremy Otto. Christian Gibbons, our director. Jeremiah Hergott, my broadcast partner. Dan Griesbaum Jr. Have a great Sunday. If you're in Michigan or anywhere else with nice weather is in play, get outside and enjoy it. Have a great Sunday, everybody.